Yeah. Okay, hold on.
I'm sure many of you here have seen families that had adopted children. This picture is a family that has adopted 2 little girls and 1 little boy. The other 2 are their biological kids. There are many reasons why people adopt. There are many benefits of adoption, and you can also adopt out of this country. The domestic adoption page is where I got my information about why people adopt. There are couples that sometimes have infertility problems, either the man or the woman, and their next choice would have to be adoption. There are also couples like as gays or lesbians, which there's no way they can have a child, so they go to adopt. Also, if you're a single parent and you would like to adopt, there is ways for you to adopt also. They're much harder because the income is only coming from 1 person instead of 2. So it takes you longer to go through the adoption process. There are many benefits of the adoption program. The adoptive family, when they adopt a child, you can tell that it's the end of a struggle or the end of a time where they worked hard to adopt a child and worked hard to get this child. Also, the second most important person that benefits from an adoption is the birth mother. The birth mother gives her child up for adoption maybe because she can't provide for the child, or she's not in a place in her life where a child is reasonable. She needs to give her child up to maybe have the child a better school life, or to give it just a better life. The first person, or the main person that benefits from an adoption, is of course the child that's being adopted. The child is going to have a better life. They're going to get to go to school. They're going to get to experience things that they might not have experienced if they had never been adopted. Faith Hill and John Lennon are just 2 examples of people that have been adopted. They had the chance to carry on someone's name and become famous. And if you think about it, if they had never been adopted, they might not have had the chance to become who they are today. So the child being adopted is one of the most beneficial persons out of the whole situation. There are several types of adoption. There can be a closed adoption, or there can be an open adoption. You can go through agencies to adopt children, or you can go to private adoption ways. Closed adoption is where the birth mother gives her child up for adoption, but she has no communication with the child. She won't know how the child grows up, or she will not have any pictures of the child. It's just no contact with the family or the child. There's open adoption, where the birth mother is allowed to have pictures, or maybe come to birthdays, or even just be there throughout the whole child's life. There's one bad thing about an open adoption. An open adoption can start off open, but at the end it can become closed, and then the birth mother will be no longer able to communicate with the child. There have been many cases reported on the Oracle Foundation website of cases that have started off to be open cases, but then the adoptive family decided that they no longer wanted the child to have communication with the birth mother. There are families that decide to adopt from different countries. There have been many children adopted from Russia and China. Those countries are making lots of laws and new requirements for a family to adopt. Before all this, all the new laws, you could have worked on your adoption here and just seen a photo of the child, and you never actually had to go to that country. You could just have all of your paperwork done here, and they would send you the child if you qualified. But now there are laws that state that you have to have so many, they call them flyer miles, to that country to interact with the child and interact with its lifestyles and cultures there. And China is one of the main countries that's starting to make these laws because they felt like they were just selling kids to us in America and just giving them to us without proper qualifications. There are lots of positive and negative ideals when it comes to adopting a child from a different country. The negative ideals are when you get a child from a different country, you bring them to America and they no longer have their customs or their traditions or anything about where they came from. But now they're making just small laws about having the adoptive family have like different holidays celebrated or just small customs in their household to keep the child's background and culture of where he came from. The positive things that come from adopting from a different country are just about the same as if you adopt straight from your country. You are saving a child's life almost. You are pretty much helping them have a better life and go to school and just prepare for the real world. And if they were still in foster care, those things probably would not happen. The website ThinkQuest is where I got my information about the negative and positive things when it comes to adopting a child from a different country. But a picture I have this shows children and about the ages that they will get adopted. If you're ages 15 to 17, there's a 17% chance you will be adopted. If you are from the age 0 to 2, there's a 16% chance. And as they get a little older, the chance of them being adopted is a little bigger. This is, it says age 15 to 17, there's a 23% chance. This graph is bigger than this one. But I hope that I've given y'all a background on adoption and taught y'all a little bit of the benefits and how it helps children.